I remember once I didn't know what NASA was. Like
Oh.
this is probably in like sixth grade. I was in class reading out of a textbook, and like I was reading out loud, and I just kept saying, "From NASA, blah 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 blah, NASA," and then someone next to me was like, "Evelyn, that's NASA." And I was
mean,
like, "Oh."
It's an abbreviation. How are you supposed to know as a kid?
Exactly.
Not
I mean,
an
I was in
abbreviation.
sixth grade.
Wow. What is that called? Is it
Name?
yeah, like when they take the first letter.
Yeah, no, an abbreviation, right? Like an
Is it?
acronym?
Yeah, like an acronym.
Yeah, but I mean, now I know it's NASA.
Yeah. What other words?
The other day I was in the car with my parents, and I was talking to them about like English words, because a lot of their English words like they still don't pronounce correctly, and like I like making fun of them with it. So in Malaysia, okay, so you know the monkeys like orangutans?
Yeah.
In Malaysia, orangutans are called orang-utans.
Oh, okay.
So it's a Malaysian monkey. So I've grown up always knowing they're called orang-utan.
Okay.
So I remember I went to school, probably it was like third grade, and I was like, oh my gosh, I went to the zoo the other day and I saw an orang-utan, and they were like, what's that? And I'm like, the monkey. And like they were like, what do you mean? And I'm like, no, you don't know what an orang-utan is? So I went home and I was like, Mom, they didn't know what an orang-utan is. And then I remember I printed like a picture and I brought it to school the next day, and I was like, this is the monkey I saw. And they're like, oh, you mean an orangutan? And then I brought it up a few days ago with my parents, and I was like, Mom, Dad, do you know what it's called even now? And they're like, no. And I was like, parents, it's called orangutan. And they were like, Evelyn, go to Malaysia and say that to someone. I think they would just like slap you.
Oh my god. It's so funny.
If you ever go to Malaysia and see an orangutan, now you know how to pronounce it in Malaysia. Orang-utan.
Oh, orang-utan.
Yeah.
Even if it was me that you wanted to back in the day, and you were like, yeah, I went and saw an orangutan, I would have been like, a
what?
Yeah, a what? Oh my god, it's so cute. Oh
my gosh.
Oh wait, never mind. I thought of something. Oh well, I think it's language related. So, because I grew up like in a Chinese family, so then like, dishes are a lot of vegetables. I don't know what they're called in English, or I didn't know for the longest time. I only knew what they were called in Chinese.
Yeah.
Because at home,
dishes,
like cai, like vegetables. No, but more like vegetables. So, for example, broccoli, 花椰菜. I mean, broccoli was a pretty common one. I'm trying to think of something that's like a little bit. Oh, like spinach. I didn't know what
like you
spinach
didn't know
was.
the English word for spinach?
Yeah, because my family never had to say spinach. Actually,
oh, interesting.
就是菠菜嘛.
Yeah.
对.
Actually, I don't know how to say cabbage in Chinese. Like, I always think cabbage is 菠菜.
Cabbage is spinach. I mean, what?
Cabbage. Oh.
I'm sorry.
I think you're a little confused.
Cabbage is not spinach. Cabbage is, I think, 白菜. 大白菜.
Oh, 大白菜, yes.
Wow. I can't remember if you said that. But yeah, and then, but then now I realize that I struggle both ways. Like, I struggle even with saying like vegetables in Chinese. When I go to, for example, like a 便当 place, like a place where they sell bento boxes and you get to choose your the veggies, I literally go like 那个
No, I see that too. I'm like, oh, 我要那个，然后那个白白的。
白白的 I know. And then sometimes I'll question myself. I'm like, 那个豆芽菜 and then they're like, oh, and they get it. And then I'm like, 那个茄子 like 我就 I'm very like 卡卡的 and then they're probably just like, is she okay? The other day there's this I went to order and it was like 什么反正就是 it was basically like a 牛腩 or something, and but I didn't know that word was 腩, so I was like, I basically read the whole entire title of the food item, and then I just didn't say the last word because I couldn't read it, and then she just looked at me, and then I think she was like, oh, 腩, and I was like, yeah, and she's like, okay, and I was like, okay, thanks.
It happens to me so much. Like, I usually look at the menu and I'm like, oh yeah, the things I don't know how to pronounce, I just don't pronounce, and I'm like, oh, 我要like 比如说 I don't know, like 什么什么豆芽菜, then I just say, oh, 我要这个豆芽菜, and then I just have them complete it.
Oh yeah. So it would be like, for example, you would be like, oh, if the dish was like freshly sauteed bean sprouts, you would just look at that and be like, I don't know what freshly sauteed is, but I know what bean sprouts is, so I'm just gonna order bean sprouts.
Exactly.
Hey, it's smart as long as they get it right. As long as when you order, like when you get your food, it's what you wanted. That's all that matters.
Exactly.
I know there are definitely other words that I pronounce incorrect, or even like store names.
Like what?
Like oh, Costco. I think
Costco, okay.
I grew up saying like I grew up with the T being silent, like completely silent.
Costco?
Yeah, so I think my parents would say Costco.
The P being silent?
The T.
Oh, the T.
So it wouldn't be like Costco, it'd be Costco.
Oh, Costco.
Yeah. Or no. The crazier one is Costco.
Costco. That's every Chinese parent.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I think it like was like Costco, and then it got better to like Costco, and then I think I used to, or like Capri Sun, and
yeah.
I used to say
Capri Sun.
I used to say Capri Sun.
Oh, I've never heard of that one.
Yeah, and then everyone's like, you brought what to school?
What, Callis? How do you say it? Capri Sun?
No, I would say Capri Sun.
Capri Sun. Me and you, we're gonna bring a orangutan and I don't even know how to say it. How you say it?
Capri Sun?
Capri Sun.
Capri Sun. I would say Capri
Sun. Oh my gosh. I know mayonnaise. Mayonnaise I learned probably 4th grade. My mom used to make me like these bamboo shoots to like take to school and then put like mayonnaise on the side, and I would be like, oh my gosh, friends, do you want mayonnaise? And I'm like, I just kept saying that. No one corrected me.
Wait, what did you call it?
Mayonnaise.
That's
it. Mayonnaise, yeah.
Why?
Because that's what my mom said. My mom was like, Evelyn, take mayonnaise to school. So I'm like, okay, like, guys, mayonnaise. Do you want mayonnaise?
That's so cute.
Oh my gosh. Alright, let me think.
Or, okay, when I was in college, I realized that I would translate something from Chinese into English, but it would be wrong. So I remember with my roommates, and my roommates would correct me. They'd be like, Alice, what did you just say? In Chinese, turning what?
Turning?
When you turn on and off the lights, but then it's like 关灯, 开灯, and 关 is close and 开 is open. So I used to actually say, oh, I'm gonna close the lights. And my roommates would be like, you're gonna what? And I'm like,
I get that 100%.
And I'm like, I'm gonna close the lights. And they're like, you're gonna turn off the lights, Alice. And I'm like, oh, right, I'm gonna turn off the lights. And then it's like I actually didn't realize that I was saying it incorrectly until they corrected me, because I think usually, you know, like I live with them, so then I actually say it very often. And I was like, oh my god, I never realized that I did that. Like I translated it in my head the way that my parents taught me in Chinese, and then it's the wrong translation.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that happens to me a lot. Like, because now I have to translate between like English and Chinese all the time. It happens to me so much. Also, sometimes I translate like English to Chinese, like using English grammar.